Alright, so Zenyatta got a buff. He can now discord through barriers, and a friend of mine wanted to see what my training regimen was for Zenyatta. I have about 100 hours or more on Zenyatta right now, and usually um, with Zenyatta, Ana bots aren't really that helpful. Lucio bots are actually better. But for me, personally, I work on tracking and ranges to get warmed up. To start off, I like to be here. Um, on this box because these bots go left and right at different ranges, and I practice them. So as Zenyatta, you want to just sit here and just practice getting the timing right, leading your targets at different ranges, because different ranges means you have to lead a little bit differently. So this first robot here, it's really close, so it's pretty much hit scan. So you can pretty much hit it like right on. This one is a little farther, so you have to lead a little in front. The farther you go out, the more you have to lead. Like this one, I'd have to hit around here. This one's headshot, since it's really close again. This one's a little right in front of their face. This one is definitely a little farther out. And I do this until I warm up and I feel confident that I can consistently hit those targets. And a lot of people should know to always discord the targets you're fighting. But at the same time, sometimes when you first see a target, it's okay for you to start spamming and then discord, just because you don't lose time on DPS on that at all. So I do this at different ranges. Sometimes I'll focus just on certain ranges of different ones. But the farther ones are usually where you're gonna get see more of the travel time of your projectile. With Zenyatta, you have 20 shots. He's one of the most damaged heroes, for sure in the support. But the reason why he has 20 is because the first couple shots is for, I call them tracker rounds. So you basically learn how to track, see the distance and the timing of it, so you can adjust to it. That's why he's so spammy. He has so many shots. It's because it's okay to miss those first couple, because you're kind of learning the ranges of which you're going to be hitting your targets. Then once I get comfortable with my left clicks, I'll start tracking with my right clicks. And I'll do this for all the different ranges. I try generally not to kill them when they're standing still, just because you're not going to get a lot of value out of that. But once they start moving though, it's easier to get the tracking down. So when to right click, when to left click. You should primarily always be left clicking all the time. You should always be spammy with it. And I know a lot of people know to hold right click when Mei's an ice block, or when like Genji's deflecting, or whenever there's an ability where you can like right click it. But what I like to do is I'll blind fire into a turn. So let's say I'm about to turn this corner, right, and I suspect that there's gonna be somebody there. I'll start holding down my right click right away, and as soon as I turn the corner, find the target and get that headshot right away. So I'll practice this for a little bit, just because it helps you kind of learn to blind fire into corners. And there's no cons of doing this. You basically start a fight off by suspecting this one there. You see it, you hit it, and even if you don't kill them, even if you don't insta kill them, you already do a lot of burst damage right away. So they have to go into retreat mode. So whatever they had plans to do, it ruined it right away. So I'll blind fire around corners where I suspect people are at. Now to practice my long ranges, I'll sometimes go over here.
Experience tranquility.
Actually it's right here. I'll go here, because you kind of want to have to practice shooting downwards. As Zenyatta, it's just like Ana, where if you're a good Ana player, you're going to be a good Zen player, just because you have a lot of practice in positioning. And with Zenyatta, it's the same thing. It's all about positioning with Zenyatta. Pretty much the same positioning you would use for the most part as Ana, you should be able to use as Zen. But let's say I'm out, right? And I'm usually pretty far back. Like, I'm always really far back, but I'm close enough to my tanks to where if I get flanked, I can take it. Now with that being said, if there's like a Genji or a Tracer, their job is to flank you, right? All it takes is a discord and one headshot on the body, or one headshot or one body shot, and they're usually going to try to use their recall or deflect ability, and so they're going to try to disappear right away. If not, they're really committed to killing you, then as Zenyatta, I start moving towards my tanks, and I let somebody know, hey, there's a Tracer on me, hey, there's a Genji on me. And it forces the Tracer or Genji to be in a position where they don't want to be, which is right in the middle of the team, in by the tanks. Um, Another thing you can do is you have to hit these Discord shots on those flankers right away. You gotta establish dominance on them right away. They gotta know that, like, okay, I just spent the last like 1 minute going this flank right to try to take out the Zenyatta, and he's messing up my day. I'm not getting a lot of value because I'm wasting a lot of time. But if let's say you're a Tracer and a Genji and you're going after a weak Zenyatta and you know that you can kill them, you know that's free fault charge. You know that you're going to continually able to abuse them, bully them, and they're not going to be able to do anything because they're not weak. So you're going to have to try to get used to, like, find a Genji friend or a Tracer friend to just 1v1 you as Zenyatta and learn to, like, defend yourself, because Zenyatta can easily, if you play him right, should be able to kill the flanker or at least get to their tanks to retreat and force the Genji to be out of position. So with Zenyatta, you don't have to AD straight because your hitbox is pretty much the same theory as Roadhog. It's huge. It's one big square box that anybody can easily destroy. So when I'm moving as Zen, my options instead of AD is always to move for cover or move towards tanks. So as I'm fighting somebody, I'll make sure that I'm either retreating back to cover and using cover, then on my AD, or moving towards my tanks. So I'm always moving towards an area where I'm putting the flankers or the person at a disadvantage. I guess that's the only time I would AD is when I'm like firing around the corner. Here you can also work on tracking with your right clicks. It's something you don't have to do. I just like doing it because I hit them. And this is also like I would consider this long range. So this is a good spot for you to practice hitting long range shots. And this is where you're going to be able to really see his travel time and leading targets. Just because it's really hard to hit it here. But because you have 20 shots, you're going to be able to see your first shots where they track at, and then you'll be able to lock on the target. And so pretty much I used to do this a lot more when I was in anime, but this is pretty much the training I use. So hopefully this helps. And if you have any questions, just let me know.